Warning. Who's in the pod? Who? We're at this again.
Oh, I know.
You know who's in the pod?
I do know.
It's a podling.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for Supergirl, Season 2, Episode 22, season finale. And nevertheless, she persisted. I'm your host, Dom. With me, we have Cleo, Nikki, and Rachel. So, let's memento this.
Start at the end?
35 years ago, guys.
Oh, shit. I meant to send you a screenshot I took of the last scene, because...
With the skull?
Yeah,
skull
the symbol.
Okay. 35 years ago, on the day that Krypton died, we find out a third ship has left for Earth.
So, Superman's 35 years old.
I think it's Baby Zod.
You think it's Baby Zod?
I think it's Baby Zod.
There's some rumors going around, and Baby Zod is not one of them. But we find out another baby. There's some like cult ritual going on with blood saying it will grow strong on Earth, and there's some like skull kind of motif with the symbol going on.
I mean, it could be Doomsday.
Yeah, that's the big one going around.
Yeah.
The big one going around is Doomsday. They set up a whole lot in this episode how Supergirl is stronger than Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically, she's 12 years older than him, which would make her 47.
You can't count the...
I know,
Negatives
I'm
on
just
years.
saying.
Yeah. Well, if we're looking at it that way, then maybe because she's younger, she's stronger than him.
Right? That might be it.
Yeah. But one of the big storylines in the comics is Doomsday killing Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Superman doesn't usually stay dead for very long, but
Never.
It's still a huge storyline. So I could totally see bringing Doomsday in and having Doomsday kill Superman.
Was he born on Krypton, though?
I
can't remember.
I don't know. It doesn't necessarily mean he was born there.
Oh, what?
No,
He got
they
taken there
did
as an
refer to-
itty-bitty baby?
They referred to whatever was in the pod as an it, which clearly means they don't view it as Kryptonian as one of themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're on Kryptonians, so it was something that was probably born, because that baby was pretty
Made.
small.
Could
Or
they
made.
have made it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I'm
summoned
sorry.
it.
Zod was in this episode. My head keeps going back to the Man of Steel movie,
Yeah.
which is why I think the baby in the pod is Zod. Because in
They did
Man
mention
of Steel,
they did call
Zod was like part of this weird cultish heretic yelling sort of group of Kryptonians, which
feel
these
like
hooded figures really remind me of.
Yeah.
I feel like since, Rhea said that Zod was his mortal enemy and that's who we kept seeing was Kara, I think the whole Zod storyline happened before we got Supergirl. Because he's older and so like are you saying like it's like another bit, like it's another part of Zod, like another Zod?
Could be the same age as Superman.
But that's
especially
not
if he's a baby on the death of Krypton.
So was Superman, so yeah.
Yeah.
Like his hallucination of Zod was an older gray-haired man.
No.
Hey, my dad started graying at 21 years old.
He didn't look that old.
He had gray hair.
Doesn't matter. My dad started going bald and going gray at 21 years old.
Pretty sure he was blonde.
I think it was the glowing eyes that were like illuminating the hair to make it look gray.
It might have. Yeah,
Maybe,
you can't
I
tell
don't
by
know.
someone grow.
Anyway,
He looked older, is that to me, anyways.
But-
either way, clearly Superman has regrets about letting him live.
Yeah. One of the other big theories about who's in the pod is Kal-El, who was created for the New 52. And they made lots of Hell-related puns. The comic in which he debuted, or not debuted, but he debuted as a villain. He became the main villain. Was called Hale on Earth. So yeah, they made lots of hell-related puns to the thing. Basically, he was created as a clone. So it's kind of like a Bizarro Superman, but this is the spin on it for the New 52, and we know that Supergirl and the Arrowverse has pulled a lot from the New 52, so it's completely possible. And he is basically a very strong, kind of imperfect clone that is created from thousands upon thousands of DNA from Kryptonians. Mm-hmm. So
okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, his goal was to destroy the Earth, and he destroying the Earth and then using the energy of it to propel his ship back in time to save Krypton. That was his ultimate goal. So, I can totally see that being the storyline for this whole season, especially with what we're seeing here. You know, Krypton being destroyed, and you know, them saying, all the stuff that was going on there. Totally see that. So Hale would make a lot of sense. As Lee mentions in chat, it's Rain, not Doomsday. That's another one of the rumors going around that it is Rain. She is a Supergirl only villain that was also created for the New 52. And she was from a group of genetically engineered super soldiers called the World Killers. She was taken as an infant from Kryptonian scientists and engineered to become a killing machine. So she once again fits the bill.
Okay.
And so there's that. I've seen as far as people throwing out Darkseid. Darkseid, I think, is a little more far-fetched.
Yeah, Darkseid's very far-fetched.
So, out of all of those, I think the one that I'd be most interested is Hale. Hale, whatever. Because I love me a good time travel story. That's what it comes down to.
We don't need any more time travel in TV right now, thanks.
You complain every time we get one. He's like always complains about it, so I don't know why he wants time travel.
I love it.
Oh, I have a headache. Oh,
I
more.
But that's why I like it, because I like to think.
Figure it out.
I like to think.
If this goes this way, if that goes this way, if that goes that way. You can't. If
This
it's time
is a
travel,
closed loop, and
there is. When it comes to time travel, there is. They may say there's rules, but there is no rules.
No. There's always rules. So
even when they say there's no rules, Dom won't believe them.
Yes,
No.
exactly. That's what it comes down to. So that's where we sit with that. So once again, we're left all summer long with who's in the pod.
No, I'm
in
left
the
all
pod?
Summerland. I'm left all Summerland pissed off because Kara and Mon-El are apart now.
There's so, I mean, it's jumping way ahead, but long story short, they had to fill the atmosphere with lead
particles.
Trace amounts of lead, enough that was not lethal to humans, and forced all
I don't know what the long-term effects of lead in the air is going to be for humans, but all right.
They said trace amounts that was non-lethal to humans, so I don't know. The Daxams are extremely allergic, so like if you stabbed one with a pencil, they might die.
Actually, that's made out of graphite, not lead anymore.
There are.
Well,
lead
I mean,
pencils.
if there still are lead pencils made, a lot of artists actually use them still.
They're far and few between.
Still. So in turn, this gets all the Daxamites to have to leave the planet, including Mon-El. But this is definitely not the last we've seen of Mon-El, because we see Mon-El flying out in the ship that he crash landed on, and he gets sucked into what looks like a wormhole or a black hole or something. So at this point, if he just left the atmosphere and that was the only scene we saw of him, I would have been like, okay, well, we're probably not seeing Chris Wood next season. And I would have been really upset. But seeing that scene, I'm like, nope, he's on the show next season. I don't care.
See, I almost think that he's making his way to another Earth because, like, if you think about it, if say you opened up like a portal, a vibe in space, and because space is black, it would kind of look like a black hole. And this is me really, really like stretching because I want to see Chris Wood, but I'm like, he got vibed somewhere. Maybe Gypsy has him.
I would agree with you if it looked like a vibe portal.
I know, it was doesn't. All swirly and black, and
it looks like the same portal it took Kara to the
negative zone.
No, negative Phantom Zone.
I just like, but I mean, it does make sense that if they do want him back, to have him go to a desert Earth, because that Earth wouldn't be, low in the atmosphere. And if they did want to...
That's what I was like. I was yelling at Kara. I'm like, Kara, you have the thingy. Call Cisco. Take him to Earth 1.
You have the thingy.
Often. Like,
I refuse to believe there wasn't a better option. We've always thought, well, maybe they'll merge the Earths or something will happen and they'll end up...
I'm still...
If they do that, does that clear up the atmosphere, the iron in the...
It 100% can, because... What happens in that case is some things stick from one world and some don't. So, like...
It's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, basically. That's what it comes down to. Like,
two
people that do exist on each world will merge into the one person.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, not always.
Other times not, but sometimes, yes.
And then it's which memory do they retain, first and foremost. And then, I think if they're drastically different from one another, that's when they don't merge. Like if one lived in California and the other lived in New York, I don't think they would merge. But if they both lived in the same apartment, in Star City, and it merged, that person, merges with themselves.
I think I'd be okay with that. With their life experiences too. Like even if they lived in the same apartment in the same city, if one was a suicide, a psycho killer, a serial killer, and the other one was a goody two shoes, like wears a freaking church skirt and stuff.
That's when they merge, and then it's a 50-50 shot of which personality they get.
Or they're both.
Yeah, or they become schizophrenic.
They're both.
Yeah. Yeah. So it could be interesting. That is one solution to get them back together. And we do know there will in fact be a 4-part crossover next season as well. But the way they made it seem like is it's going to happen for the finales, which is going to be more interesting, I think, because they haven't done that. Mm-hmm. We haven't had a big superhero team up crossover finale, have all the seasons build to a huge climactic ending,
That's a lot.
It is.
That's when worlds collide.
Yeah, it is. And if they're doing something like that, that would be the perfect way to end all the shows. Yeah, there's actually some information on Legends was released too to find out exactly what's going on next season. But if you guys remind me, I will talk about that at the end of the podcast. Okay. But so this episode starts off with Supergirl versus Superman with silver kryptonite. Now, have you guys...
And that's no... Even Superman's like, well, that's new.
Yeah. Have you guys ever heard of silver kryptonite before? Because I have not.
I haven't. Only red and green.
Red and green. I want to say I only heard of blue, but that might be just something from way back in my childhood.
Yeah, apparently it was on Smallville too, so I'm just not remembering it. But I
didn't watch.
I'm looking at a picture of it right now, and the silver kryptonite was it was a black rock with metallic silver clusters in it, so it wasn't like completely silver. So that's why I don't think I remember it as silver kryptonite from Smallville, but. Yeah, and Lee's saying season 5 for Smallville, but yeah. So this one controls Superman's brain, doesn't steal any of his physical power.
Just makes him think he's hurting someone else.
Yeah. So I definitely don't think this is the last we've seen of silver kryptonite. Because it was used very sparingly here.
I feel like Rhea had, because she no longer exists, a lot of she was part of this scientific thing on Daxam, whereas, you know, we're talking about maybe it's the child in the pod is a scientific experiment from the Kryptonians, whereas I think the Daxams had something very, very similar, except Araya had her dirty hands right digging in there, and, you know, because she had the thing that hurt John Jones, and then she had the silver kryptonite. She had something else too, and like she has all these blueprints for the portal and all that stuff. So like, I feel like she somehow made the silver kryptonite.
Yeah, like, I think she might have. It might be synthetic.
Yeah,
I don't think it is,
she's
because
been traveling.
she's
been traveling the stars for since Krypton fell. So she could have gotten
their planet is littered.
The Martian thing from anywhere.
Well, the planet is littered. It's covered in kryptonite. So, all the kryptonite that ever exists is probably littered all over Daxam. Red, green, blue, purple, rainbow. You know, like it's all there. It's all there.
It's actually just all the ore from Minecraft.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, Daxam was Minecraft. Yeah.
I mean, if you think of it, like in Star Wars, when Alderaan explodes, you know, all the chunks of, you know, rock and debris and everything from the planet that are flying over. Now imagine an adjacent planet that is sitting there and gets meteor showered with all this stuff now. You know, like, the planet's going to be ripped to shreds. Like, you're not going to be able to anybody live on it. But, I mean, at the same point, the planet is going to survive. You know?
Yeah, it might be one of those things where it just, depending on where the kryptonite goes or is at, like if it was an arid desert area, if it was a snowy area or something, I think would probably the geological area where it landed might have given it different properties.
I don't know. I feel like Rhea just had a little bit more control over this particular piece of kryptonite than, say, you know, because she was basically, you know, green kryptonite once she got freaking sliced. But I mean, I just feel like she chose that it was his rival, and it just happened to manifest as Zod for Superman. Like she's just like,
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm assuming it works just like ore on Earth too. Like we have gold, silver, you know, all that stuff. I'm assuming Krypton had all these different minerals, and they weren't called red kryptonite, but, you know, whatever. It's things that were named after the fact, you know, and when the planet blew up, those different types of ore flew other places, and now that's what's known as, you know, same way we call rubies and diamonds and emeralds and, you know, things like that. So it's not all one type of mineral. But with that, you know, things they go to the Fortress of Solitude after the fight is over, which the fight was a really good. Sally says in chat, the fight was pretty cool. I definitely liked it. I liked the fact that Supergirl overpowered him. I thought that was fantastic. And then her passing out, waking up, bringing everybody to the Fortress of Solitude and passing out again, and not remembering how they got there, all that was kind of funny. Yeah. And then when Superman wakes up and they start accessing the computer trying to find a weakness, and Superman just looks at her and goes, "Yeah, you owe me a new robot," you know, because Supergirl had to.
This would be a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So.
She's like, "Yeah, well, you know, shit happens."
Mm-hmm. Well, it did attack her, so. Yeah. Yeah. What was she supposed to do?
We had, when Superman shows up at the DEO, Win. Right?
Win wanted to bro hug him so
I don't know
bad.
if you remember me.
He was like,
I love you. Completely geeked out over Superman, and then as soon as his look was agazed, he just mouths, "I love you" to him. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
Never change, Win.
Oh, Win is the best. And then, you know, he meets Mon-El, and he goes, "Oh, so you're the guy who's dating my cousin. You must be a good guy." And so, you know, Mon-El was all worried because of...
Not one of the stabby action nights.
No one of those stabby.
The murdery ones.
Yeah. Not one of those. But, you know, the fact that he trusts his cousins. well, you must be a good one because I was like, otherwise she wouldn't be dating you.
Yep. Yep.
Well, then they have this, even though they haven't spent a lot of time together. They have this really, granted, we don't know if they spent a lot of time together as kids.
Yeah.
We don't know if they even saw each other at all.
Well,
they don't go into that. But they have this really close kind of connection, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, nothing that Kal-El's going to remember. Oh, you mean as kids on
Earth?
When she landed, Kal-El was already
he was a grown man at that point.
But we don't know if he was in any part of her life growing up.
Right.
They could have chilled.
He was a little bit. That was mentioned, but for the most part, he gave his distance and let her.
I mean, you would think herself. That they would be like, yeah.
I have cousins who are 12 years older than me.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them having him come over and be like, okay, you might need to explain some things to her that only she can understand, being from the same planet, kind of not feeling alone kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is, I could totally understand that.
Yep. And then we had Supergirl invoking Dakum Oer. Is that what it is? Dakum
Oer?
Yeah. Which was a sacred oath that Supergirl invoked the challenge on, which was ancient trial by combat.
My
basically a duel.
Yeah.
My favorite was one of the Daxamites in the ship was like, oh my god, she said the thing. I got so nervous.
She said the thing.
Yep. Which did save them. All the ship's powered down. All this the lasers, all that stuff. Save them for the time being, but as I expected, Rhea did not honor the tradition.
No, of course not.
Of course she didn't. She's a twit.
That's my God only cares about my victory. Fuck you, Mom.
Yep.
Right?
So she ordered the ships to continue to attack, and that's when we find out that Rhea's blood is actually infected with kryptonite. So as she bleeds, Supergirl becomes less powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Until she starts threatening their Earth and stuff. And that's just...
She does mention that Star City and Metropolis are next, but when Star City was thrown out, I literally didn't care, because it's not my Star City.
Yeah. It's also probably still a shit show.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, but we know there's no Green Arrow. There's none of those people exist on this Earth, so...
It's probably really boring.
Yeah, so
it's really boring.
When she name-dropped it, I was just like, whatever, blow it up, see if I care. So, but...
Yeah, I would have cared if it was Central City, because that's a city I'd like to live in.
Yeah, you just want to go to Jitters all day.
I do. It's a cool coffee shop.
It is.
You and HR would get along.
Yeah, I think so.
But, yeah, so in the meantime, Mon-El breaks off the roof to go save the city, become a superhero, do his thing. In the meantime, we have Superman and John Jones teaming up to save the city. We have Megan returning with White Martians who... she goes, look, I'm not the only one on
friendly
Mars
White Martians
who had regrets.
That was really cool.
There's a lot of us.
Yeah, it was. That was really cool.
I mean, I expected some of the aliens on Earth that are already on Earth to help out, just to prove a point that we're not evil. We're here to live on the planet and protect the planet just as much as every human that's already here. But that didn't happen. The whole premise is they're trying to fight for alien rights, and the aliens still have to prove themselves, and so they don't have to. They shouldn't have to, but
that's a good point.
That they need to just prove that they're there to live just as much as humans are, but it hasn't happened yet.
I haven't seen
anybody stand up.
Doesn't it? Yeah. Sounds like our world today. People have to prove who they are.
Yeah,
before they're accepted, which sucks.
It's stupid, but it's one of those plot points that I've been waiting for, just so humans can the ones that are oh my god, aliens are terrible, they're all bad, can just, sit down and like eat their own shit for a bit because.
You mean Lillian Luther?
This is
definitely
exactly
needs to
why.
sit down and eat some shit.
Well,
Sit down and eat some shit.
The same thing that you're saying though is exactly why Lillian goes and gets Lex's device that was going to stop the Superman, the Kryptonians from invading, is because they view all aliens as bad, and they want to eradicate. So Lena offers, to help, and then we have both this. I was calling them the Supers, Superman, Supergirl, the Supers. The Supers go to talk to Lena, and they tell her to go through with the device as as a backup plan, plan B, kind of last resort kind of plan. And I guess Lena had the foresight to slip Kara the remote control to activate the device.
Right. She knows her mom's a shithead, so.
I know, she still trusts her mom.
It just happened last episode where Lillian fucked over Supergirl, and Lena's like, what the hell? So of course Lena's going to be like one step ahead of Lillian, because she doesn't want her to screw anything else up.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So I was actually really happy about that, and I was like, yes, Mon-El gets to stay, and then Supergirl has no choice but to hit the button. And in a very selfless, for the first time ever, Kara, act, she... I
don't think first time ever. Just first time on this scale.
I'm exaggerating quite a bit.
This big of a selfless act.
Yeah. Which was really surprising, because Superman even approaches, and he's like, Kara, I'm humbled by you. If it came down to Lois, I don't think I could have done what you did. So...
Well, and him and her had that very in-depth talk while they were sparring together about how she was just like, I don't think I can have it all.
Yeah.
And that just, it made it that, it's just like, here, jab the knife, twist it some more. You know what I mean? It just made it that much worse. Mm-hmm. When it finally came down to it.
Yeah. Sally says, I love the Win was humming, I'm your super friend. I didn't even catch that.
Wait,
didn't
what?
even catch that.
When was he humming this?
Win was humming I'm Your Super Friend from the musical. Didn't even catch that. That's fantastic.
Really?
Yeah.
How does he know? Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
It's just a song that he's humming. It's not saying that
I know, but that happened in Kara's dream world.
Yeah,
maybe
did she sing it? I bet she gave him like a step-by-step rundown. She sang him all the songs. She told him he was in there.
Yeah.
It'd be funny.
I mean,
they did the piano real good.
Yeah. They did make a lot of mentions to different things. I mean, they called her the Woman of Steel, and instead of calling Superman the Man of Steel, which was kind of cool.
Well, they just called her the Girl of Steel, but yeah.
Girl of Steel, but yeah. Lots of Star Wars references in this.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of Star Wars references.
Oh my god.
For a while.
There has.
And all of the DC.
It shocks me every time because, Marvel and Disney and Star Wars are all the same company now. And I get it. It's still, it's regardless, it is, a franchise that wasn't originally Disney and all that. But it's still kind of funny to me, in a way, that DC is making reference to their rival company's property.
DC made the Arrow made a reference to the Avengers movie.
Right, yeah. Yep.
So, I mean...
Yeah, no, they do.
I mean,
it's just every time it's done, it's just, I chuckle inside.
When you have Han Solo's wife playing a character, you're going to have to make these little jabs.
Of course.
I mean, I've never seen Star Wars. I went, bullshit. I paused it. Bullshit. You've seen Star Wars.
Oh, man, I didn't. It didn't even register with me until right now.
Really? That's like the first thing that I thought of when she called it a lifesaver.
A lifesaver, and Darth Vader's going around
punching people.
Like, punching people. And she's like, I've never seen Star Wars. I'm like, bullshit. I call it out. I call shenanigans on you.
To be fair, I was pretty tired when I watched Supergirl, so I was paying attention enough that I knew the storyline, but I didn't catch that. So
yeah, that was hysterical.
I did. I thought that was the best. I just loved that.
Yeah.
That episode, and then her calling out Jimmy on it was funny too.
Yeah, and like all the cat stuff was fantastic this episode where she's listing off a bunch of food she needs, and I just need a Clark bar. And
The first thing I notice is that Cat is moving back in, and everything is going back to Cat standards. So
no weights. Her candles are back on the desk. Her couches are back in their place.
They're moving the table out of there.
The broken table, yeah. How many times has that table been broken since Jimmy's taken off?
A lot of times. A lot of times.
Yeah, I don't know. There is a huge rumor that she is going to return full-time for season 3. So that would make sense with her moving back into the office if that is the case. I don't know if it's true or not. It's a little too soon to tell until they officially announce something one way or the other. But I want her back so bad. I cannot even begin to express.
See, I loved Kat before she went to Baton and stayed in the yurt, and she's a little bit more like, she's more zened out. She's still very, very commanding and obsessive, and there's a lot of other words I could say, but she's a little bit more down to earth at the same time.
She's a little more connected with her own feelings now.
Yeah.
She's a little more connected to what other people are feeling too. You know what I mean? She's
always given good advice, but now it's super, like, it's well worded, and her tone and the way she presents it is just
more
like
human.
It is. Yep.
It's right, like when she was talking to Kara about when Kara was telling her about how she had a boyfriend. She goes, "I'd leave for a year and you get yourself a man."
Yeah.
What the hell?
I miss everything, Kira.
I know. Right?
Yeah, and then at the same time, we did get mention from her last episode during her speech, and she's like, "I'm not going anywhere." So it seemed like she was talking to us too, as viewers more than just the people of what city is this? I forget again. National City?
National City. I was just saying, I'm the Metropolis, duh. No.
Yeah, because that's all I was thinking too, is Metropolis. I'm like, that's not it, that's not right. And then all of a sudden it popped in, but yeah. So, yeah, I really hope we get her back. 'Cause, that would be fantastic. They're just like, these last 2 episodes, seeing her back again, it's just like, every moment she's on the screen is a moment that I have a huge smile on my face. It's like
and
her
I guess
humor
that would
and
also,
everything.
If she comes back full time, I guess that would free up Jimmy to not have
guardianing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Free him up a little bit.
It almost sounded like you said gardening.
Yeah, gardening. Yeah.
He has a green thumb.
Yeah,
he's really good.
He
you should see his petunias.
Now I need to see a picture of Darth Vader gardening.
Oh yeah, that'd be
there probably is one on the internet somewhere. Just Darth Vader gardening. I bet you there's a picture.
Yep.
And Brian asked where was Guardian. He was helping Kat with the news and all that.
Yeah.
He was protecting her too when they had that fight.
Yep. And then I loved when she said to Clark, "You have to do something about Jimmy. He's running around." And the look on Kara's face, like, how does she know? Like, oh, it was priceless.
How does she know, Kara?
I know.
Supergirl.
Yeah, she referenced Kara as Supergirl at the end of the episode.
So she knows.
She's known for a while.
Oh yeah.
She just saw the lengths Kara was gonna go to protect her identity and was like, better not press it.
Yeah. At this point, do you think she also knows about Clark and Superman?
Probably not.
You know what? I don't know.
I think she's too googly-eyed over him to even realize.
Over Clark?
Yeah.
Because didn't she, say, something about how Superman wasn't her type or something like that?
Yeah, at one point. It was last season, yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe, last season. Because was she in the first episode this season? I don't remember. Yeah, I think she was.
An early episode this season.
Before she left.
When Clark
first
showed up.
Yeah. So, I think that was the episode. So, I think it was this season she made that reference right at the beginning.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I remember her saying something like that, so.
Yeah.
He's not her type.
Yep. I don't know. All in all, I think this was a fantastic finale. I really liked
was
it.
good.
There was not so much big pow.
Yeah.
But it was enough that we're left with a bunch of questions. Because they have done the pod thing before, like every season.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like, okay, whatever, but
Every season? All two
yeah.
of them?
All two of them. Everyone.
Yeah, every season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still, but I mean, we have the pod question, where the frig did Mon-El go? Like, is Kat staying around? Like, we do have a lot of questions going into next season.
Not gonna lie, I legit almost cried during that whole Mon-El and Supergirl thing. I was like, no, can't do this.
Yeah, Chris Wood grows on you.
Sucks.
He does.
No.
Every show that he's been in, it's so sad to see him go. Like, I don't want him
Why
to
do they
go
do
every
this?
time.
Why do they do this to us?
It's like Sean Bean, but they don't kill him off. Just every show he's in, he leaves. And you're just like, no, come back. He goes on another show, and then he leaves. No!
I thought you were going to say it's like Sean Bean, but we actually care about him.
That too.
No, I
love Sean Bean. Don't get me wrong. I love Sean
I'm
Bean.
trying to remember because Chris Wood was in containment. He
Did he leave
survived,
too?
right? He survived, correct?
He left.
I'm asking Dom because
that would be a
this-
spoiler.
Yeah, Tom doesn't.
I know, but I'm trying to figure it out in my head that
That would be a spoiler.
it would be
I
an
don't reveal
inconsistency
spoilers
with
on
what
other shows.
Rachel said. So I'm like in my head like, see, I don't remember, so I can't say yay or nay.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this was a really good. I mean, this is our first finale of the DC shows. I mean, not really. I guess we had Legends too, but and like I was gonna say with Legends.
I care less about Legends though.
Well, the Legends one, when we originally saw it, I was just like, okay, I don't like this. But now when I find out what it actually is, I'm actually more interested in it.
What do you mean?
It's basically when the Legends did their interacting with themselves, and then the ship went and spiraled. It did like a time scatter type thing. I forget what it's called. They had a specific name for it. And it time scattered things all over the place. So like that's why there's dinosaurs running around in the city, because they ripped dinosaurs out of the past, threw them in the present, and things like that exist all throughout time right now. And it's going to be and the Legends themselves, I think, stop being Legends. And they go off, like, mix off. He finally goes to Aruba and does his thing.
He deserves it.
Rip makes a new team to put all this stuff in
It's
place.
a bakery team.
And fix it all. And then the Legends and Rip have some kind of confrontation. And it's I don't know. The way it was worded, I'll have to find it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, because that actually sounds stupider than what we thought it was, to me anyway.
Yeah,
No.
I'm sitting here going like, I'm not watching.
That
next
sounds
season.
dumb.
No.
I've already like been on the fence with
Alright,
Legends.
so I'm pulling it up right now.
so-
Hold on. It's Legends Season 3
Because if
story
that's
details.
the case, then why are we not seeing that in any of the other shows? Why is everything just perfectly fine?
Because they may have fixed it. Time sakes, I don't know. Whatever. They might be an alternate thing. So it says, in revisiting a moment in time that they had already participated in, they have essentially fractured the timeline and created anachronisms, a scattering of people, animals, and objects all across time. Our team must find a way to return all the anachronisms to their original timelines before the time stream falls apart. But before our Legends can jump back into action, Rip Hunter and his newly established Time Bureau call their methods into question. With the Time Bureau effectively the new sheriffs in town, the Legends disband, until Mick Rory discovers one of them in the middle of his well-deserved vacation in Aruba. Seeing this as an opportunity to continue their time-traveling heroics, Sarah wastes no time in getting the Legends back together. Once reunited, the Legends will challenge the Time Bureau's authority over the timeline and insist that, however messy their methods may be, some problems are beyond the Bureau's capabilities. Some problems can only be fixed by legends.
So what you're saying is
No,
Rip
that's
didn't
dumb.
learn fucking anything from
Yeah.
any of this.
He made
Get
more
the-
Time Masters.
Get the hell out of here. No.
Or
I'm
he could have like totally
mad.
forgot.
I don't know.
No,
So-
that's not dumb.
I don't know.
No.
I like
No.
the scattering of objects. That makes a lot more sense of why the dinosaurs are running around in
I
present day.
would if it wasn't taking place within a completely normal timeline that we're seeing from all these other shows.
I don't think it's a completely normal timeline. They whip through all kinds of stuff. We don't know if they're on an alternate Earth timeline.
Okay, all right.
We
And
have
we-
to
and
wait
we- and
until
they
it
don't-
airs to make
I
any
know
kind of
that's my
judgment.
that's my problem because that seems like a perfect thing to put in the break over summer.
Oh, I
Like,
agree.
The fact that that's already ended and this is supposed to be happening now doesn't make sense.
I agree.
But
But we
we
don't know
don't
when, in fact, they travel
Yeah.
to. That's the other
Yeah,
thing.
and
Is they traveled
don't
to
know-
2017, but we don't know if it's 2017 of the summer. They didn't give a month. So just because it aired already doesn't mean that it's happening in order.
And we don't know the time bureau. We don't know where after Rory left the ship.
Yeah.
We don't know where he went. He could have went to the future and made these, or could have went in the past and made these.
Yeah,
things.
all we got was
don't
a
know.
year that they landed. We don't know. They could have crashed in August. You know? We don't know. I get your frustration, Cleo, but like I said, we gotta wait to see the episode to get those exact kind
And
of details.
if everything else got shattered into different places, what makes saying that they didn't get shattered to a different dimension? We don't know that.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to be mad at a time travel show for being out of sequence with all the other shows. So
And this is why we
They
don't.
go on and on about cause and effect, and then we don't see any of the effect. Is just my thing, and I get it if they fucked something up and they're fixing it, but I don't know. I'm gonna stop.
Yep.
I don't know. I just don't like. I mean, Rip was getting better. He was learning from mistakes. He was learning from the team, and then he goes and makes the time bureau, and it's like back to the very freaking start. And it's like
we don't know what happened to Rip. We don't
Exactly.
know. We don't know if, even though they landed in 2017, we don't know. They could have been gone for years, and everyone thought they were dead. They needed something, so he made this. You know what I mean? We don't know.
Yeah. We have to wait and
it
see.
doesn't matter.
We have to
Because
wait
they're
and
always
see.
being the assholes to Rip.
Yeah,
So-
well,
Always
Rip
the
him a new one.
assholes.
rip him a new one.
So I don't know. I think Supergirl so far out of the two shows that we've seen, because I keep forgetting that we've already done the Legends finale, but I think Supergirl was the better of the two
Yes.
so far, and
Yeah.
we will be back tomorrow night to discuss the Flash's finale. So
Tomorrow night.
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Cleo, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Cleomoto on Twitter, Twitch, and Pinterest. I actually just put the screenshot I took of that pod on my Twitter. I tweeted it.
Awesome.
I also
Okay.
tweeted at the See on TV podcast Twitter. So go
Nikki!
follow those.
Where can the people find you?
Go.
On Twitter. Not posting things because I don't do that when I'm watching shows. I'm Lady Venom 24, LADYVENOM24. I just can't multitask, guys.
Rachel, where can the people find you?
At Viking Witch 76 on Twitter, where I repost other people's posts. So, I heard you like posts. And I'm on Twitch at Viking Witch.
Awesome. You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
Phenomenon.
Do, 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 do.
There was a really long pause there, and I was actually scared that the world was going to burn up and Cal was
I'm
going to freeze
disappointed
over.
in you,
something.
Nikki. I watched Gotham. You didn't do it.
I never do it.
I know.
You gotta get Dom to start, or not Dom, John to
John?
start.
He won't. I told him already. He doesn't listen to me.
Okay, well then,
And you can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASO TV Podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Until next time, see you guys later.
the doing is like a team effort. You know?
The doing.
The, yeah,
The doing.
the doing.
The doing. That's
I don't
another
know
thing.
what the hell you're doing right now.
It's my fidget cube.
Oh, okay.